Hey guys, and welcome back to the Layah Heilpern show. So I am here live at the Blockchain Futurist Conference in Miami at the Hard Rock Hotel. Isn't it so beautiful? And joining me today, we have Richard Ells, the CEO of Electroneum, and we also have Bolt. That is how you're known online, is that correct?
That is correct.
I don't want to dox you because you're not doxed, but it's Bolt. That's what we're going with. Okay, so Bolt is the founder of Electroswap. So guys, firstly, welcome to Miami. What are you doing here?
Thank you very much, Layah. We are here launching a big NFT project, which is with One Ocean and Andrea Crespi, who's the artist. But the reason we bumped into Brad here. Oh, I've doxed you, Brad. I've done it.
No.
Oh, it happened. I'm sorry about that.
We just got
So I'm just now, and he lives at no.
Sorry, man, are you listening?
So I'm going to pass the mic before I say anything else. But yes, Electroswap are running one of the really big developers on the Electroneum blockchain. So I thought, let's get them on.
We'll get into all of that, but yeah, let's introduce yourself and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I'm Bolt, founder of Electroswap, and just happy to be here. It's great honor to be here with you guys. And
yeah. Well, welcome to Miami. This is the most Miami day I've ever seen. It's cloudy, it's humid, and I'm just like really hot right now. But crypto right now is in a really weird place. It kind of reminds me of the Miami weather. It's in a weird place. Literally only 2 weeks ago, Bitcoin was at all-time highs. It was at $126,000. So before we get into Electroneum and what you guys are doing, I just want to get your take on the market because everyone is very, very panicky. The fear and greed index, I actually looked at it this morning. It's at 22, which is the lowest it's been all year. So, you've been in this space for over 7 years. What's your take? Do you think we're coming towards the end of a bull run? Like, where do you think we're at?
Okay, well, the usual caveats apply if we're going to talk about those things. Of course, this is not financial advice. Listen, I've been a big believer in the major projects in crypto for many, many, many years, since 2014, 2015. So I'm positive for the long term. I think if you take a short-term view of any market, the froth can easily put you off. It's very easy to look at a market and go, okay, I'm going to look at a candle graph and tell you what's happening. All those things are lagging indicators. What do we actually think? Sentimental of the market is one thing, but there's $30 trillion of US debt. It's not going anywhere. And if you look at the major projects, if you just talk about Bitcoin, for instance, as you did there, it's got a finite supply. It's kind of the gold standard in crypto, and I know the gold bugs hate that, but so I think my personal opinion, it's going to bounce to and fro off the 50-day moving average, and ultimately it'll creep towards the next halving where it'll go crazy again. My opinion.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree. I do personally think we're coming towards the end of a bull run, but I don't really think it matters because at the end of the day, it's all about the projects that are building, A bull run is very much just like meme coins, projects that are here today, gone tomorrow. And that's actually one of the main reasons why, I wanted to speak to you guys because you've been in the space for over 7 years. Everybody knows Electroneum. And, I kind of want to take this opportunity now to, oh, then we got some music. I love that. Some music, sure, we'll go for it. But I want to take this opportunity to understand more about Electroneum because a lot of people think, Electroneum is you were big a few years ago, but you've actually had a massive relaunch this year. So tell us about this recent relaunch.
Okay, yeah. So we did a relaunch that we call Electroneum 2.0 just because we've had a few iterations of our blockchain, but we're now a fully fledged layer 1 EVM model, really easy to develop on, solidity contracts, industry standard stuff. But there are many reasons to choose Electroneum over pretty much any other chain. So yeah, I mean, there was a lot of call by developers, for the EVM model to be something that we embraced. But we didn't just want to do a Vitalik reboot, which is so many of these projects just take the Ethereum model and clone it, or take Solana and clone it. So we spent a long time rewriting the validators to do something different, which is what we've got. So it's very fast, it's very, very cheap to run, and and we think we're bringing something that we now today with this brand launch, we're proving that brands will choose Electroneum over other projects because we've got some unique stuff.
how is this Electroneum different to the old Electroneum? Like people who were previously holders of your token, like what is the new Electroneum all about?
Yeah, well, the first one was all about microtransactions, which we did really well, and we had a lot of users. We had 3 million people download the Electroneum app, and we're really big around the developing world, and we've done loads and loads of stuff there. And we're not walking away from that market. But what happened is the regulatory environment is a nightmare. And getting worse. And we had so much call for smart contracts. So we thought, well, you know what, we're going to have to embrace smart contracts. There are different options out there, but Solidity was the one that was the mode du jour. It's the one that everybody knows as well. It had to be Solidity. Like I say, we didn't want to do something that had already been done. We wanted it to be some features that were unique. And I think that we are. I know we've been around for a long time, over 7 years the chain's been running, but this change is going to attract a very large amount of developers and a very large amount of use cases, because we can do some stuff that you cannot do on Solana, you cannot do on Ethereum. And not only can you not do it, but also we are super, super, super ludicrously cheap to operate on. So yes, we're sustainable and we shout about that, but we're also, because of the way it works, really, really cheap to develop on.
So you mentioned Solana, you mentioned Ethereum. Would you say they are your main competitors?
Yeah, without a doubt they are. I mean, they've got a lot of users on those chains, and ultimately, our users are we like people like Bolt here. Yeah, sorry, man. I know you did such a great job. You did a great job. You should know this is why people shouldn't give me any of their secrets. My wife would tell you. So people who are developing on our chain. Well, I'm going to pass it over to Brad, I think, because he can tell you more than me. Why would you choose Electroneum?
Yeah, I mean, we chose Electroneum mainly because it was an up and coming chain. It had freshly launched, so we saw a great opportunity to kind of establish ourselves as a DEX on the chain. It's not every day that a new chain launches that you can build on. And so we saw that as a great opportunity, but also because it is so cheap, because it is so fast, it just was a tremendous opportunity for us to start building.
And if, Ethereum and Solana are your main competitors, I think that's a very big, it's a very big goal, because they're such established blockchains.
Yeah.
And they really do have their purpose. For example, people love to build on Ethereum because it's decentralized. It's got first mover advantage as the first altcoin. Solana, people love it because it's so fast, it's so cheap, and it's so degenerate. So for meme coins and trading and stuff like that, they love it. So how is Electroneum going to compete with them? And are you going after the same type of people? How does it work?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there's a market for all of them. And whilst I say there are competitors, I'm certainly not, trying to say anything bad about those projects, because I'm a big fan of those projects. So, but there are different verticals, there are different niches for everybody. And what we had noticed is we were working with NGOs. That's who run our validators, NGOs. And in this case, so One Ocean Foundation, for instance, who we're here with today, are going to run one of our validators. So the people that run our validators make it a very small set of validators. So it doesn't give us that ultra wide pool that gives you, their security model. So Ethereum's security model relies on vast numbers. So they've got maybe 300,000 people running a validator. And that's great. I love that. But at the same time, brands are afraid of it because they realize that there's a high energy overhead from 300,000 computers running a validator. And so they're worried that their user base will kick back against the brand for utilizing that blockchain, which is a tragedy when you consider what blockchain can bring.
Right.
So we kind of looked at the market and said, okay, what is it that people want? Okay, so they want sustainable. Okay, that's a big call from the market. Okay, well, we can give them that off the validator model that we have. And we also spoke to a number of projects to find out, okay, well, what is it that they're missing from with Ethereum and Solana? And one of the things that we've got launching at the first quarter of 2026 is there's been something that's been talked about in Ethereum a lot, which is this sponsor wallet idea. So that you could have a wallet that supplies the gas for the contract across multiple wallets. It doesn't exist yet. It's not been released, but it's been spoken about.
Right.
Well, we've built a system that's actually a little bit more powerful than that, and enables us to have a huge, say, supply chain. If you get hundreds and hundreds of wallets with a semi-fungible token, moving it through a pharmaceutical supply chain or any supply chain, handling that is a bit of a nightmare logistically, because somebody has to monitor all those wallets, work out, oh, they're running out of gas, top them up with gas. Then you've got the fact that the users of those wallets have got access to them. So you have a security issue. So our system gives you the ability to have an unlimited amount of wallets that are all taking the fee from somewhere else. So they don't need to have any gas fees in those wallets to handle the logistics. So there are lots of reasons to choose us, but sustainability, super low cost, so we're super green, super fast, super cheap to operate on, and we've got some unique selling points. So I'm really, really sure 2026 is going to be a mad time for us. I'm really excited.
And you've already had a lot of great developments so far. So I understand you won an award. So can you explain what this award is, and also tell me about your partnership with the One Foundation?
Yeah, so we're here today with One Ocean and Andrea Crispy, who's an artist. We've just, this actually live on Rarible right now, so it's just gone live. So you can go off and have a look at Rarible, click on the Electroneum blockchain. Wow, there's a noise. Click on the Electroneum blockchain and go and have a look. You'll find us on there minting this project, and that is because, well, they chose us as a chain because of our super sustainable, environment to launch on. But what we're doing for them is we've launched this NFT of Andrea's to raise funds for a specific project, replenishing, they call it the Blue Forest project, and basically it's replenishing this Posidonia seagrass, which is, when you read about it, you actually realise, you toss your anchor overboard and don't think much about it, and you bring it up and curse the weed.
Right.
Damn you, weed!
Yeah.
But actually, what you've just done is destroy a little environment where things live, and what you don't realise, it takes hundreds of years for those things to grow. So we thought, it'd be nice to do some blockchain for good in this environment. And they are super connected, like ludicrously connected. They've got massive brands that are part of them. If you go and have a look at One Ocean. So they're doing amazing things thanks to those brands, but it's also exposing those brands to Electroneum. So I'm getting to talk to those people at a very high level, senior level. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see what we can do. And I know that we'll be doing some things with some of those next year.
Yeah, so you're clearly very much tapping into the green energy space. There's clearly a demand for it. So what is the potential with blockchain and the green energy space? Like, how beneficial can it be, and how important is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, realistically, it's just that what brands are worried about is they don't want to be seen to be utilized. And when I say brands, so I mean, well, I literally mean the brands of the world. So yeah, companies. So if you go and have a look at the corporates, but corporates, I mean, there's a lot of corporates that no one's ever heard of, but then there's a lot of corporates that people have heard of, and they really care about consumers. So probably more consumer brands. But if you walk down a major high street and see all these brand names, and you realize that they have a very fickle audience that are really caring about the environment. So it makes any use of blockchain for them quite a dangerous exercise. So we solve that problem for them.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much what the sustainable angle is for. It's to make sure that somewhere in amongst the blockchain space, there's an EVM, layer one, that is completely fine to use without being destroyed in social media by your own customers, or without damaging your reputation.
And are there many chains doing that? Because I wouldn't look at Ethereum or Solana, because you mentioned they're your competitors. I wouldn't look at them and think, wow, they're like environmentally friendly or anything like that.
No, I mean, look, again, it's all in degrees, isn't it? I mean, if you look at Bitcoin, I think it's got maybe 3.8 million mining rigs, giving it that security. And, from my personal perspective, I like that, because, that is true decentralization, and proof of work is the ultimate original decentralization tool. I don't think Bitcoin operates how it was envisaged to operate, with mining pools and those kind of things. But it operates well in terms of security. So yeah, our security model works slightly differently, and it gives us a different vertical to work in. And like I say, you can do all the things you can do on Solana, all the things you can do on Ethereum, but faster and cheaper. Go and have a look at ElectroSwap, by the way. It's on the shirt there, because you can launch a token.
Yeah.
It's a decentralized exchange, so you can do all the things.
Because we're discussing how Electroneum is can differentiate itself, right, from Solana and Ethereum and its competitors, like you mentioned. So you now have ElectroSwap. How new is ElectroSwap, and what does it do? How does it work? Why is that going to be beneficial to other people?
Yeah, so we started basically as soon as the new EVM chain launched. I believe we were the first to deploy a smart contract on the new chain. It was a fresh slate, but we started out with a Uniswap version 2 as a Uniswap version 2 clone. We added version 3 liquidity, and we've grown over time. Now we're an NFT marketplace, a yield farm, and also a launchpad for pre-sales.
So yeah, you're a launchpad. Who would use it? Would the average person use it, or would you say you're more directed at brands and companies? Who's it?
Right now, most of our community is just the average person, retail, that, you know, they want to launch their own token. There are a few developer groups, I would say, that are trying to launch their own brands, and they're launching tokens through, we have an active pre-sale right now for a group called Electroneum. They have a token pre-sale going right now that runs through the end of the month. So there is a little community of their own that they're trying to build, and so they wanted a token, and they're doing that through our platform.
Yeah. And are you working with any other NGOs?
Well, we've still got the same NGOs we've been talking about for a while. We've got the latest one is the One Ocean Foundation, and they've kept us pretty busy. So I haven't got anybody else to announce, except there's a lot of interest, which is great. So for us to get round to working with them and building something with them will take a bit of time. But yeah, you'll see others coming on board for sure. Also, by the way, one of the things that we developed for these guys is if you visit nft.oneocean.org, you might need to Google that. It's the number 1 and then ocean.org. If you visit nft.oneocean.org, you'll find a platform that enables people to make a donation just through PayPal and be issued an NFT. So it's a pretty cool platform, and it takes the technology away. You know, some people don't know how to buy an NFT. It's quite a tricky thing the first time. So we kind of get them in with a donation, and then we dribble through all the techniques they need to be able to learn how to set up an Electroneum wallet, etc., etc.
So we're here in Miami at this beautiful conference. On this occasion, can you tell us any interesting things that's coming in 2026? Any news you can drop for us? What's in the pipeline? What can people expect?
Okay, yeah, I kind of probably alluded to that a little bit with a logistics supply chain thing. So yeah, we're going to be doing a case study and getting a little trial going of a logistics exercise on the Electroneum blockchain, because it works just so well. The speed of it is super, and hundreds of thousands of micro transactions that are paid for upfront from a different wallet, rather than having to have tens of thousands potentially of other wallets. So it'll be semi-fungible tokens if you want to get into the contract of it. But yeah, so a semi-fungible token that you can have various states. So somebody can accept. So you'll have an ultimate owner of the product that's in a shipment, and you may be passing ownership across. You know, if a distributor buys something, then maybe the ownership passes. Otherwise, you can just be tracking whereabouts it is within the supply chain, who's got custody of it, all across the blockchain, all obviously in an immutable way, which is what they're after. So yeah, we're excited about that, and that'll be a pretty big project for 2026.
Yeah, I love this, you know, because like we were saying at the beginning of this conversation, we've been in a bull run for nearly 2 years. We've seen a lot of meme coins, a lot of hype. Things they're here today, they're gone tomorrow. It's really nice to see a project that's actually stood the test of time. For me personally, that is so important. You know, there's so much hype and FOMO getting into all these coins that just go to zero, but it's really cool to see, you know, you relaunched this year, you've been around for 7 years, there's more coming in 2026.
Yeah.
I believe you have some listings coming as well. I know you've recently been listed. I think Blowfin was one of the big listings. I won't say any more unless you want me to.
No. Well, I think so. I'm not even sure, but they were going to try and get us live on another US exchange by today. I don't know whether it's happened because I'm here, but they were trying to get involved to enable some more liquidity for the NFT. So whether it's live yet or whether they're trying to get it live, I'm not sure. But they're a big exchange, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. And the more of those that go live, you know, the better for us, because you want those on ramps, off ramps. We just had Zipto.com. You know, they've integrated, which is really handy. So again, it's an on-ramp, off-ramp, and you can spend ETN on a debit card, which is
I think
pretty.
at Core as well, you've been the on and off ramp Alchemy Pay.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
guys have
that's it. Yeah, yeah, they're amazing as well. So the more, well, the more exposure we get, of course, the more people go. Actually, I'd like to do something.
Yeah.
Here we are today. We've got probably, I would say, the best slot of the whole show.
Speaking, yeah.
We're directly after Eric Trump.
Nice.
So the room will be absolutely full. I hope it can stay full whilst I'm on there. Yeah.
We'll be there.
I've got
making more.
I've got security guards on the door throwing people in. Don't worry. So it'll be a good slot to have, and again, it's getting that exposure out there. So the more exposure we get, the more projects will adopt us, and it's one of those snowball kind of things, I think.
Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, as you say, thanks for saying it. We've been around for a long time, and we're constantly developing things, and we're not always maybe the best people at shouting about ourselves. So we need to do more of that.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess one last thing I'll say is, as this is a very typical thing they say in crypto, they say just because you build it doesn't mean they'll come.
No.
Right? No. So 2026, let people know what Electroneum is doing.
That's a really good idea. I just, into my head popped a phrase that's similar to that, but it was so rude, I thought, dismiss it. Yeah.
What is it? What do you mean?
Off camera.
Off camera, right. Well, if it's not too bad, I'll leave it in the comments.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
For coming on the show today.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm sorry for doxing you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You could be Brad anyone.
Yeah.
The last name's Electroneum.
It's gonna go.
Brad Electroneum. Look him up online.
When the camera stops, he's like this. It's Brad Cooper.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, Bradley Cooper has had a whole new face, so
that's
that could I don't know.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry about that, Brad. We've just said something rude about your face.
Brad, I'm just doxing everyone right now. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Very kind of you. Thank you very much as well. Really appreciate it.
That is all from the Layah Heilpern show today. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, as we are going to be digging deep into the crypto world and bringing you all the latest information.